are live as it comes. Hopefully we're not going to have any audio issues, but I've got a sense in my waters that there is no. However, we do have some personnel issues and personal issues as well. Welcome to the show. Luke Robertson, Ale of the Times. Luke Robertson, I believe Kappa is going to be late.
Oh, no.
So, look, he's going to bundle in here any point.
Is this going to be awkward when he arrives and be like, oh, what are you doing here? What are you doing here?
Like he's found me in bed with you. What happened?
I don't know if people noticed, but I had a UFO book set up as a prop and it fell off. As soon as you went live, it fell off. So that was my comedy prop. That's all the comedy I've got. I'm done.
A UFO book that is very strange. I actually went to the library and asked if they had any books on poltergeist, and they said, oh, they're flying off the shelves.
Ian, the one thing I love about doing a comedy or a jokey thing with you is when you set up for a pun, your voice just changes slightly. So as soon as you go for that, you're like, there's a pun coming.
It's weird because there's a lot of people who I work with. Or no, maybe I'll rephrase that. There's a lot of people in the past and not my current job at all, but previous places I've worked in where people are like, oh, I just didn't realize you were joking. But I'm glad that we have the relationship where at least you have the nuanced mind or intelligence to recognize that when the arm starts spinning, I'm ready to roll into a joke. So we've got plenty of people in here tonight, except for Kappa,
except for one of the hosts.
Luke, I want to ask you first off. We were just before we came on air, we were discussing salad.
Yeah, I got some salad facts. You want a salad fact?
Yes, please.
All right. The first salad fact I've got for you tonight, and the listeners, and please feel free to comment in the chat there if you've got your own salad facts. The expression "salad days," great Minor Threat album, but also a famous expression, first appeared in Shakespeare's Antony and Cleopatra.
Wow.
So there you go. That's the first salad fact you're going to get for the evening.
We'll just leave that there. Look, if you're joining us for the first time, this is what to expect. Exactly this. So thanks for tuning in and watching Have a Beer Guest the Year, the very incorrectly named YouTube sensation. Luke, you had a fact about salad, and I had a fact about Salah, Mohamed Salah, who plays for Liverpool. And Mohamed Salah, my fact about Mohamed Salah is that he made his debut for the Egyptian national team at the age of 19. There we go.
There you go. That's not a good fact at all. That's a normal age for a soccer player to make a debut for an Egyptian national team as 19. That's just a thing that happened.
Okay, since Mohamed Salah has played for Liverpool, race hate crimes towards Muslim people in the city have decreased exponentially.
Okay, that sucks. It just sucks that that's... I mean, it doesn't suck they've decreased. Don't get me wrong. Just it sucks that that's even notable that that's a thing.
It is, isn't it? I just can't imagine that would be... but anyway, sorry, more salad. Salad versus Salah. We've got plenty of people drinking some fine beers. What are you drinking tonight, Luke?
Oh, I'm drinking this is a Little Creatures.
Nice.
They sent me some free beer. This is the XBA. So all of my opinions are tainted, but this is actually delicious. Apologies to my Independent Brew Association pals that are watching. Just the fact that you guys have tuned in for this, because this is a train wreck so far, but also that I'm drinking a Little Creatures beer.
Well,
Delicious though.
look,
What,
I
what are you
think.
drinking, Ian?
I think Little Creatures with that XPA design have stolen off the Beer Together logo that we have at the top. So I'm drinking a new beer, which is the Colonial XPA, Citrus XPA.
Great.
And it is it's pretty fresh, and it's my local brewery, and it is fine. It really is quite. No, it's
Good one. All right.
yeah. Cheers.
Yes. Enough
um,
said.
we do have Kappa. I think he might bust into this place any second. Let's get him in.
All right, we'll get him in for a salad fact and then I'll bounce. How's that?
Look, I think I might kick myself out at this point.
Why is he Nicholas's iPad? Lift your game, Kappa.
Oh, here we go. Oh, we can't hear you, Kappa.
Fucking hell. We get one professional comedian in the mix.
I'm in.
Hey.
Who said I'm a professional? I'd like to meet this person.
I gave you money for a comedy show, so hopefully it went somewhere.
No, far from it.
Kappa, we've been flying here. We've been absolutely flying. We've had a little new section called Salad versus Salah, which we did facts about salad. Have you got another salad fact, Luke?
Yeah, I've got one more.
Yeah.
Do you want to go? Do you guys want to have a guess of the record for the most Caesar salads made in 1 hour?
Whoa.
The most Caesar salads made in 1 hour. Any guesses? What do you got?
By one person, or
Yeah, one person.
One person. Okay. All right. Well, I used to work at McDonald's, and when I was 16,
famous Caesar salad.
Yeah, no bragging. Oh my God. Didn't know we had an expert in on Caesar salads.
And I could make and dress 45 burgers in as many seconds. So I'm thinking if you have a system like that, then surely you're not attempting a record if you haven't tried it before, if you haven't got a system in place.
Yeah, but like you're getting everything's pre-cut up and prepared. This bloke, I'm assuming is a bloke going by his name, Bob, is cutting. I mean, he's cutting and assembling.
Okay, no need to hate on my job when I was 16. I know everything was pre-made, but it was tough. It was tough out there.
Anyway, any guesses? 60 minutes.
I reckon 120.
Ian?
In an hour. So yeah, okay. Let's do 3 a minute, which is 180.
No, you guys are way over. It's 108. So that was a disaster. What a fucking what a terrible fact.
Like, I was 12 out. What do you want? How much more precise do you want me to be?
Yeah, no, you're actually pretty close there. Before I bounce out of this, what are you wearing, Kappa?
Oh, I thought I'd wear this tassel kind of shirt. This sounds so weird, but I just came from a gig. And I thought I'd spice things up with my tassel shirt. Actually, I've wanted to wear it for the last couple of weeks, and I haven't been able to. So I just thought I'd wear it around here inside. It's given me a good excuse. It's kind of like cowboy, but half skateboard.
Yeah,
you know, like skater.
That's how I describe you, Kappa, as cowboy, but half skater.
Yeah, that's it. I was a skater boy, but I also knew my way around a tractor boy. Anyway, fuck.
You knew your way around a tractor boy.
What like gator, and I'm like, I'm not really into alligator. It's more of a crocodile, man.
Kappa, what are you drinking on non-independence night? We get Luke from the IBA on. I'm the only one drinking an independent beer, and just about.
Oh, mate, I've absolutely balls this up. Yeah, I'm drinking a Bolter Hazy.
Don't worry, Luke's on the Little Creatures, so it's all we're all sticking it to the man here.
Yeah, I reckon people have supported independent for too long. I reckon it's time to I reckon it's time to help the big boys out. I mean, they're the ones with investors and stuff. They're looking at the graphs, you know.
The stocks have to go up. The share price has to rise, and if you're not buying the beers, who's going to be doing it?
Exactly. And what an independent beer closes, 10, 20 people lose their jobs?
Fuck.
Big one closes.
25 people
losing their job.
Well,
there's a lot of in a very uncertain world. It's the big guys who provide a lot of certainty. They lock up taps. You know what you're getting every time. It's not like this. Oh, what are you drinking now? Our Gaffer's gone. He's fine.
Oh, I'm back.
All right.
I did panic there that somebody had interfered with something.
I think it was Bolter. They cut the line. They're trying to cut the line.
Well, I'd love to stick around, but I've got another drinks to go to.
This is weird. I just came from another gig.
Can I ask before I go, who is reading out the year and who's guessing?
I am guessing.
All right.
Yes.
And the other thing I'd like to ask, Kappa, how did your gig go?
Mate, it went good. I was really dreading it. Zoom gigs. I'm like, I don't want to do this. Let's just wait till we get it back on the stage again. Like, why do we have to do this? But this one went good. I've had a few that have gone good, actually. I've had more ones that gone good that gone bad, but I only really remember the bad ones.
Kappa, hate to tell you, but Luke's already left. He left, and
I never liked him anyway.
I was going to tell you, but I just thought I'd let you continue that answer to Luke.
Shittest bloke in the craft beer world, I reckon.
Yeah, I think he's just had a call from his boss at the IBA just to say you've been advertising Little Creatures and Bolter. Welcome anybody who is from Little Creatures or Bolter. We're both open to free beer, especially for big guys. So, Kappa, Have a Beer Guest of the Year. If it's your first time watching Have a Beer Guest of the Year, Nick Kappa is going to fire some events and things that happened in a particular year in the past. And I, by the end of the episode, as well as you playing along at home, are going to try and guess the correct year that all of those things happened.
Yes.
There we go.
Now, Ian, my organisation hasn't been that good today, okay? I'd like to tell you that I was working hard on my set tonight, today, all day, but I wasn't. I went mountain biking, and then I worked on my set for an hour, and then my flatmate, Josh Barnes, has compiled. He said, I would like to do it. So he is going to send me, but he lives in my house, and he hasn't sent it yet, so he's just going to send it now.
That is great.
We've got a special. Okay. All right. Here we go. So I don't even really know what these are. So this is kind of going to mix it up a bit. So
we should. So it's almost like we're both playing along. We should have got Josh on.
Yeah.
Maybe
we should.
Maybe Josh can know the year, and both of us have got to try and guess.
Okay.
Do you know the year already?
Yeah, I do. But he sent me like 3 things. Hang on. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Look, this is we've nailed this.
I think he's just copied and pasted just one Wikipedia page.
Does he not realize how, like, our team of researchers are normally just hammering away, trying to go into the library, trying to pick these different attributes? There's a real skill to it that you can't give the obvious clues first. You've got to start off small. You've got to throw in some curveballs. You've got to really paint a picture of, like that one I did a few weeks ago, 1906, I think it was. Spoilers. And it was like the invention of the perm machine. And it was also the first feature film. And all that was great. Even one I did 1897, which was the the foundation of the LGBTIQ plus, right? The first headquarters in Berlin.
Yeah.
Incredible. Does he know this, Kappa? Is he just?
He said that he was all over it, but it looks like he's really balls this up. Anyway, I'm just going to go from a few things he's sent me, and then I can get around this. I can get around this. It's fine. Okay. All right. So this year, the great bookie robbery in Melbourne. Bandits steal 1.4 million bookmakers from bookmakers' settlements, Queen Street, Melbourne.
What, they steal like cash from the
They
bookmakers?
stole, I think, cash. Yeah.
And a bookmakers in Queen Street had $1.4 million on the premises. That is,
yeah. It's crazy. I'm like, I don't know too much about it, but I never even knew about this. I never even knew, that like, that there was a big robbery like this. Like that sounds too exciting for Australia.
It is. Wasn't there one I think we've done it before where there was like a painting stolen and someone had it in a locker or something in Spencer Street Station or something like that.
Oh yeah. What was that?
I think what that was. But that was, again, it was way too exciting. It was like I don't know, it was a really important painting, I think, or very, it was like a Salvador Dali or something like that.
Okay. Clint's like, don't ask any follow-up questions, Ian. Nick doesn't have the answers.
I actually need to close the chat here, but I feel like it might not make much difference. But
it's a loose one tonight. Last week was pretty loose.
I did see Kel was saying that outsourcing never pays off.
Yeah, it does not. It does not, Kel. I thought we had a true fan. I was living in the midst. But this is absolutely terrible.
Josh said it's the last time I'm doing work for you.
He's really balls this up. When I will show everybody what he sent me after. Okay. All right.
And also DJ RXR6 said, seriously, if it's not sufficient, I made one of these I made a Have a Beer guest the year to play amongst friends. I mean, that is something that we do not have the luxury of, friends. And we
should make a board game or something. You and I as the little tokens. Me in a wheelbarrow, Ian in the boot, maybe. I don't know.
I could be like, and obviously we'd have a penguin.
Yeah, we'd have a penguin. Yeah, beer. We'd have Waiha stuff and beer or whatever. Oh, we could have the Waiha stuff and boot or whatever.
Yeah, or the wines, even the glass that looks like a vase, the thin bulbous one at the top. Great.
Oh yeah, man! It might be time to go back to the fresh beers for a bit.
Could be.
Speaking of non-independent, so yeah. All right, so they're probably independent. I don't know. They're probably made by monks. All right. Cigarette and tobacco advertising is banned on Australian television and radio, but is still allowed in sporting events.
Ooh. It's weird because it was banned from sporting events like quite early, quite a long time ago. But it was weird the way that they did it, because they said, well, you can't advertise in a sporting event, but you can have tobacco adverts around the stadium.
Yeah.
So like when it was on TV, it just couldn't be called like the Winfield Cup, but it could. Winfield could be like painted on the field and like players smoking before the game. Like it was, it was a little bit odd.
I do find it weird, advertising and stuff in team things, because like it differs to the sport. Hey, like some sports, it's just plastered everywhere, and other ones not so much. Like what is it? Like, I don't know, like cycling and stuff like that. You don't see it too much or whatever. or more low profile. But like then you've got other stuff like, I don't know, like, yeah, soccer you don't see, like you see a lot in soccer, but you don't see like rugby league. It's all over the uniforms. Like it's all over the place.
It's interesting that, yeah, I think like there's something to do with the length of the game as well, and how many natural stops there are. So one of the reasons soccer never really took off in the US is because the gridiron stops all of the time. So there's always a break for an ad or to sell you something. So you can always get up and buy a hot dog, or you can always buy a soda or whatever, because there's a stop. Whereas in soccer, theoretically, they could play for 45 minutes without the ball going out. So, you know, it's much longer, that there's no natural stoppage. So I don't know whether like that's a robust theory, but I think there's definitely something to being able to monetize a sport a bit more effectively than we do. But it's weird as well, like in the AFL over here, all of the adverts are like, they don't advertise tobacco or alcohol, but everything else is really bad for you. Like it's always like Mars, KFC, Red Rooster, McDonald's. It's like that's everywhere. It's like that is going to kill you. Have you heard of talking of tobacco? John Safran's new book is coming out.
No.
Called Puff. I think it's called Puff Piece, and it's about the rebranding of tobacco and Philip Morris trying to basically create a cigarette, which is to all intents and purposes a cigarette, but they've just renamed it a heat stick. So it sounds fascinating. John Safran, I think he's doing the media rounds at the moment, but really good stuff if you can get into that, because the mental gymnastics and the legal stuff that they do in tobacco industry is top rate, absolutely admirable. All right. So in this year, so tobacco, it was advertising was banned, but not in sport. Yes, you could, and in sports, because that's where you need advertising in sports. You need like you need to watch sports and go, hey, I have a smoke and stuff. I need a smoke. I need a drink. That's what I need. I need to be one of these people. Absolutely. All right. Well, Isabel Perón is overthrown by a military coup. She was the third wife of Juan Perón, who had been the Argentine president during the 1940s and the 1950s. Okay, thank you for letting me know that detail. So it's after 1950. Yeah. And that's after 1950. So thank you. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm editing as I'm going. Oh, that's so funny. So live. This is live, yeah? Yeah. So Perón. Isn't it Eva Perón? Isn't that Madonna? Didn't she used to be Eva Perón? Yeah. Like Don't Cry for Me, Argentina. Yeah. I think we've just been demonetized. Why? My singing is beautiful. I just realized, I was like, why is my battery keep draining? And I realized I had the iPad plugged in at the iPad, but just not on at the power plant. So I must say, my first beer. This show has been a shambles from start and hopefully to the finish. I'm hoping. Okay, Kappa, what have you got another drink lined up there today? Yeah. Okay. All right. So next up, the CN Tower opened in Toronto, Canada. Oh, I've been to the CN Tower. I've not been up it because it was really foggy the day that I was going to go. But the Toronto Blue Jays, the baseball team. So I went to watch them play the Boston Red Sox. Would have been 2005. And the stadium is basically like the CN Towers connected to the stadium. So it's quite interesting. Baseball is not an interesting sport, though. It's awful.
Is it a prerequisite thing if you own a city? Like, did the United organizations go, oh, okay, once you build a city, you got to put a dumb tower in there somewhere, like a big tower where just with a real shit Bain Marie in it, that's like $30 for spaghetti or some shit like that. Like, that's what everyone, that has to be in every city.
Well, there's one in Liverpool, and it looks like it's on a big, it's like a UFO on a big stick, and it was, when it was built, a revolving restaurant. So it's like a concrete stick, and then this UFO thing with windows, and it would spin all the way down to the bottom and then spin up to the top. And you'd have to like eat your meal, serve and eat your meal before it got back down to the bottom.
That is awesome.
Quick, do you want dessert? Come on, we've only got 2 minutes left. But apparently,
that's
get nice
restaurants you just don't review. Like, you never review that restaurant, like, you're like, the food's not going to be good. If it's spinning, if it's going up and down, that's adding for the food. It's like, oh, we could just cook good food, or we could just make it spin and serve catering food. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's like, as a tourist attraction, it's okay. But also, where's the food being cooked? Like, I don't understand.
It's like my shirt. Like, I wore this to the gig, so then I don't have to make good jokes. They're like, well, the shirt's funny. This is the revolving. All right. Next up. We've got.
These clues by Josh are great so far as well. You're a bit hard on him there.
What? No. And I put that one in myself. I Googled the thing. Sorry, guys. This could be a short one tonight because I think you're going to guess these. Okay. NASA's Viking 1 lander arrives at Mars. The 2-part space probe had been launched during August of the previous year and consisted of an orbiter and a lander. The Viking 1 lander's mission was to land on the Martian surface in order to conduct scientific experiments and take photos. Many of the lander's experiments were tested the atmosphere, soil, and signs of life on the planet. The Viking 1 lander remained operational until attacked by NASA. It when lost contact with by NASA. Okay, so I never knew they did that. I just thought wouldn't they have to get it back?
Well,
like, do they just leave it there?
I
like how we're littering on a planet we haven't even been to yet. Like, we're just fucking it up already.
Yeah. Like, I understand why you'd leave it there as long as you can get the information back. But I also do think that it's a little on the nose to call a device that you're sending to another planet after a Viking who, they haven't got the best reputation historically of going to another country and just saying, please, I've just come to learn about your planet. It's like they didn't do that. I just think it's a little bit on the nose to kind of call your, Yeah, you're
not going to write like rape and pillage on the side of the rocket or something like that. Like,
I'm not saying they should have called it
brutal.
Like South Korean exchange students or something, like something that's just going to be very kindly and knowledgeable about.
Just like they just want to get all the hot people from each planet and put them on one planet or whatever. And then they just left it there, and they're worth millions of dollars, Anyway,
but I suppose it's one of those things, isn't it? It costs millions to get it back, so it's like It's like a cost benefit, isn't it? It's like if you drop your iPhone in the Yarra, you know, the cost of getting it back is just leave it, just buy a new one.
But yeah, Clint's gone, Mars is the god of war. You got to send your best warriors. So that's true. And Craig P says, no Mars landers have come back. Yeah, that's kind of true, Craig. Like, I don't know how you would get it back, to be honest. Oh yeah, like the dog that was shot into the USSR into space. I know the name of the dog, Leica. I also didn't know that the first 4 rockets in space were Russian. Like, they were killing it in the space race. I thought it was 1-for-1. I thought it was Russians, then the Americans, but they were really doing well.
Yeah,
I mean, the country wasn't, but the rockets were.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And yeah, you think, like, didn't America give themselves a 10-year deadline in 1960 to say, like, we've got to be in space in the next 10 years, we've got to be on the moon. And it happened in 1969, which I think is quite suspicious. I'm like, really? Did you just, the American sense of like entertainment and drama, did you leave it till the last year? Like, I'm very suspicious about that. I'm not suspicious about that man walked on the moon. I'm not that far gone. I'm just...
Ian, you've had too much time in lockdown.
Yeah.
Okay. An Italian earthquake measuring 6.5 on the Richter scale strikes in northeastern Italy.
That's interesting. An Italian earthquake struck in Italy. That's
yeah. I just thought I'd give you a little clue there.
You don't really
Hopefully
think of
that
Italy.
Doesn't give it away.
Yeah, as Italy, as Mount Etna. Where's Mount Etna? Is that Italy? Mount Vesuvius? I'm giving myself Pompeii. Is that? That's. Am I giving myself?
Do you reckon one person said "Mamma Mia" when it happened? Mamma Mia. Anyway, sorry. Josh says there is 10 facts on the email. He sent me 10 facts, Ian. 10. I told him to have a lot. 10 doesn't even touch the sides. That's what we do in the first 2 minutes.
Look, this is my pad from last week.
Josh, you moron.
This is what it's about. This is genuine research. I always promise myself I'll never go over a page of A4, but man, I pack it in. Should we do last week's?
Also, he doesn't realize how smart these people are. Like, I reckon that the Viking one is giving it away for a lot of people in this group because they are good. Okay. Okay. XR6 says, the theory is that Americans made the space raid such a big deal just to send the Russians, bro. It kind of worked. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah. But all the USA needed was a green screen and a special effects team, huh? Yeah. Anyway, that was XR6's joke. I stole it off him. All right, so.
Wow, you are outsourcing tonight.
I'm really outsourcing.
Even getting the jokes from a third party. It's very impressive.
The worst drought on record hits Britain, forcing the use of standpipes. What are standpipes, Ian? Do you know what they are?
I would imagine a standpipe is something which is a mains connection in the street, so that you couldn't actually switch on your own tap in your house, but you'd go out into the street and fill up a bucket or fill up, a container from the standpipe.
Okay.
Actually, the water was cut off from everybody's houses. I remember living through like a hose pipe ban in the 90s, and that was, when you're growing up in Britain and there's about you don't, but there's about 4 or 5 days until you're about 8 years old where you can take your raincoat off. And then there's a hose pipe ban. And you're thinking, who is taking all of that water?
Yeah. Well, I found out in South Africa they were running out of water. I think it was in Johannesburg, and they're definitely running out, and then they had to I think they had standpipes installed, and then they found everyone just didn't use as much water, and it was fine. They realized they had more supplies than they did, and everyone kind of was like, "Whoa, I never needed to use that much water. Why was I using so much?" Like, now that I've got to watch it, like, apparently we just use so much water we don't need to. It's crazy.
Well, wasn't it the same in Melbourne? And like, well, it was like just before I arrived. I think it was like 2009. But the drought had, like, people had like 3-4 minute showers and all that sort of stuff, and really cut down. And then they lifted all of the water restrictions, and people didn't use any more water for certainly for a few years.
Oh, mate, that is wild.
It's a bit like, have you ever done that thing where I feel like this is a lockdown thing, but have you ever done that thing where you stand up and you hold on to your trousers and you pull really hard to the side, and you pull as hard as you can for like 30 seconds and let go, and your arms just float up?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that will very much be an after lockdown thing. We've just been pulling at our trousers for so long. Welcome. If this is your first time watching Have a Beer Guest the Year, welcome.
It was nice. It was nice that you dropped in. I know
this is probably our best episode yet.
Right. Okay. I've never heard about this, but 3 gunmen abduct a school bus with 26 children, and the driver near Chowchilla, Caliph. All children and driver are saved after they dig a tunnel out of the quarry they were buried in. Has anyone heard about this? Can we put this to the group?
Wow.
Yeah. I've never heard about this. So what, did they drive the bus? Or did they think all the people were dead?
So presumably they thought they drove the bus into a quarry. Presumably they must have had to bury it if they had to dig out. I know using public transport and buses is a bit hairy at the best of times, but
did they drive the whole bus into a hole and then they just like put 3 shovel loads on it? They're like, well, good enough. Good luck getting out of that, idiots.
the engine's still running.
Yeah, and they were only 3 blokes, like, to bury 28 people. That's a lot of work. I think this website is terrible.
Was that was that a school bus, did you say?
Yeah.
You can imagine, can't you, some of the kids going home that night as well.
Yeah.
And the why are you late? Straight to your room.
Why are you all dirty? Bloody hell. Yeah, they're called the Chowchilla kidnapping. Chowchilling. Yeah.
Terrifying.
I know. Yeah, a box truck buried in a quarry, an intended ransom for their return. Yeah, they dug themselves up and escaped. Wow. And one of the guys is meant to be released 2024, so we'll see how he goes. All right. So, Ian,
We'll get him on here.
So afraid. I've given out one of Josh's clues, but if I give out the 9 other ones, I think it'll give it out straight away.
Okay.
Like, I really do. All right. Okay. The world's first recorded Ebola virus epidemic begins in Sudan.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ebola was one of those things, wasn't it? Whereas, like when coronavirus came around and people were like, oh, it's happening, because we'd had so many kind of false starts with pandemics in the past, like bird flu. Not that it was a false start, because it did kill a lot of people, but it just didn't kill rich Europeans.
Yes.
So it wasn't a problem.
Any people we were connected to.
No. So yeah, Ebola was one of those, but this is the first time there's been an outbreak in the Sudan. So do you know I was in Africa the day that Sudan separated. So
oh, really?
It became South Sudan.
Well, is that because you were there? They were like, we can't handle it.
It is. I was yeah.
We got to break the bit off with Ian in it.
Yeah, I grew up in a country with a strong north-south divide, but I think they took it too far.
Oh, well, we got to make it good for the tourists. You got to make it feel like home.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jared wrote a funny thing. He goes, back in my day, we had to dig out of a quarry on the way back from school. All right. So let's get on to the pointy end. And I'm thinking, yeah. Anyway, I'll give you one more dumb fact before we get a bit pointy. The end of the world's longest pier is destroyed by fire.
South End.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Southern pier. Who needs the world's longest pier?
It's
about
Britain
is the most boring country ever.
It is. And South End. I went to South End, walked the pier, and it's about a third of a mile or sort of half a mile or something like that.
So it isn't like hugely long. Like
it's really like, like piers are.
Yeah.
But when you get to the end of South End Pier, you look around.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of ghost piers because it's not. I don't think that was the first time it had burnt down. So there's and that does not make you feel safe when you walk all the way down a pier and then look around and you see the coast of Southend very small, and someone goes, "Oh, these all burnt down." So nobody is going to save me. It's very Southend in Essex.
All right. So now I'm going to get into Josh's questions, and you guys can rate these. You can rate them. This is the questions Josh sent me. So
do you know what this is, Kappa? Do you know what's happened here? Is that we've been doing this for quite a while now, longer than we wanted. Right? This have a big.
Well, I'm divided, but because we always say longer than we wanted, but this is my saving. Like this is what I look forward to the Thursday.
It's so good, and we obviously love it because every time there's a lockdown, we're like bang into it.
Yes.
And we probably are closing in on 50 episodes, I reckon. I don't know exactly how many we've done, but it's definitely around 40 plus. And what's happened is that we've been doing this, and we kind of feel like we're fairly amateur at it, but slowly each episode we've been just honing our skills, getting fitter and fitter, better at it, better with the clue giving. And you know what's happened with Josh here? He's like when you're in a job and someone new starts, and you automatically feel you're like, oh, I know loads. I'm actually really good at my job, but you only know that when someone new starts because they don't know anything.
He was so confident. And I told him, I said, start off. He's like, yeah, tells it all back to me. And then these are the questions. He tells me in this order. Okay. It's a leap year. Great. Good one. It's a leap year. Once again, that takes out every uneven year. Okay. Good one, Josh. All right.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Yeah. Stupid. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous.
All right. Don't give it away though. See if you can sift through, and then we can go through after I've had a guess and everybody's locked in their guesses.
I'm actually not going to do the next question because I reckon it would give it away. So I'm going to the next one. The punk rock group The Ramones released their first album, Ramones, which I reckon a lot of people would know in the group. And not fully know that particular year, but they
Yeah,
would.
I don't. So that's
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Next one. Yeah. Oh, the Great Bookie Robbery in Melbourne. And then the Apple Computer Company is formed by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. And they released the first Apple computer. So there you go.
Oh, okay. What are those two?
There's this one, which is totally UK and Iceland end the Cod War.
Oh, we've talked about the Cod War, haven't we?
Yeah, we have talked about the Cod War.
But I can't even remember when it was. I do like, the Cod War. That was when England could, really fight against a country of 330,000 people.
Yeah.
Now it'd just be like, say, look, Iceland, just have it. We won't fight you. Just have all the cod you want.
See, everyone was way off with my questions, and everyone's really changing their guesses quickly now.
All right. The ballpark I'm in the 1970s.
All right. Okay. Well, maybe some more ridiculous questions that actually I'm going to give you two more, right? Two more, and then you can go. In New York City, the son of Sam pulls a gun from the paper bag, killing one and seriously wounding another in the first series of attacks that terrorized the city for the next year. Okay, one more. Hunt versus Lauda. Defending F1 world champion Niki Lauda suffers serious burns in the German Grand Prix after a huge accident that nearly cost him his life.
I did Kappa. We did a Wheel of Sport episode on Niki Lauda, but it was my friend Matt who did the research for it, and I don't really listen that hard to him. So I was too busy. I remember at the start of the episode, he did the intro about Niki Lauda, and I said sorry, and he said Niki Lauda, and I was like, no, I still can't. I was doing a little joke about his name being louder and louder, and that's all I was thinking about. And then probably for the first 10 minutes of that episode, I was just thinking that was quite funny. Also, all right.
And then he recovers, only misses 2 races after his huge accident nearly cost him his life. And then it goes down in the final race to James Hunt. And there's that great movie about it, Rush. Is it Rush? No, not Rush. Is it Rush? No. Anyway, that's a great movie.
Fast and the Furious, I think. Fast and Furious 6, I think Niki Lauda special. I love the documentary Senna.
Oh, so good. We were just talking about that. It was excellent.
So good. I think it's on Stan at the moment, but belter. Good soundtrack as well. That has.
Mate. Well, I'm giving you Josh's run of guesses.
That has thrown me a bit. I'm not sure about this one. I'm gonna go 19. Everyone's locked in the guesses, I presume?
Has everyone locked? Oh, I haven't asked everybody to lock in. My computer's frozen.
Well,
okay, come on, everybody.
Let's go for.
Is it sorry, mate? Is everyone just frozen, or is it just me?
Do I have a
So,
look? Are we
yeah.
still live?
Oh, actually, no. Don't look yet, Ian.
Okay.
Hopefully,
Someone
I'll reload YouTube. God,
someone text me if there's an issue. if this is not live. Send me a text.
I think it should be fine. Maybe it's my
look. We did say that this has been a shambles from the start and hopefully to the finish. So this is very pleasing to me. That this is the way it's gone.
Okay, Ian. So what are you guessing? What are you guessing?
I've gone a bit across the 19. I'm hoping it's the 1970s because I've gone a bit towards the end and towards the beginning. I was kind of in the late 60s at one point, but I think I'm gonna go for 1976.
Oh, Ian. Oh. You've guessed it. Have a beer, guess the year. So, Ian, I had you bamboozled. I had everyone on the band.
Sorry.
So, just for a laugh, I'm going to read out all of Josh's questions. Okay, so this is the way they went in. So, number one, it was a leap year starting on Thursday of the Gregorian calendar. Great. That knocks out so many guesses. Number two, this is the second one, right? US president election, 1976. Jimmy Carter defeats Gerald Ford, becoming the first candidate from the Deep South to win since the Civil War. That's going to give it away straight away, like even if I didn't read the year.
Wow. Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
Had you said though it was the year Jimmy Carter was elected, I probably could have worked it out like he would a leap year, but I
reckon Susan would have packed up her cup of joe and got out of there. She would have gone, oh, this is done.
Just sent an angry email to YouTube.
Yeah, I would like to complain. I was only in the game for 1 minute rather than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the punk rock group, the Ramones one, not bad, but still right. Pretty. Like that's the third question. Like there is nothing ambiguous about that. Then the Apple computer one, it's a little bit ambiguous, but not really. The Great Bookie Robbery, that was a good one. That's why I read it out first. The Cod War, I was like, I appreciated that, but we talked about the Cod War before. And then the Son of Sam one, that was like 70s. That was the essence of the 70s. Then he said cigarette and tobacco and advertising. That was a good one. The sporting event. Hunt versus Louder. Everyone's going to know that one in this group. Like, and it's the year that he's burnt, like the most.
Yeah. There's a lot of like big events there, isn't there? I suppose.
This is my favorite one, though. The 1976 Winter Olympics begin in Innsbruck, Austria. The 1976 Summer Olympics begin in Montreal, Quebec. Caitlyn Jenner, credited as Bruce Jenner, is competing in the Summer Olympics. Oh my God! Was that a joke? Are you fucking with me, Josh? Josh, are you fucking with me?
We've learned the Olympic years, presidential years, leap years. They're all because as soon as you said leap year, I was kind of like, oh, I reckon it's 72 or 76. That really helped me because I was thinking it's got to be in the 70s and it can't be 1980. It can't be 68. So it's a good job. Like let's just compare for a second from the clues from last week. Brunei becomes independent from the UK. Elizabeth Taylor goes to the Betty Ford Clinic. The USA establishes full diplomatic relationships with Vietnam. It's the first time 8 people are simultaneously in space.
It's
A New York police detective offers a waitress half of his $1 lottery ticket and they win $6 million. That is such a good story. That
is a great story.
You saying there's a film about that?
I think so. I remember watching a film like that at boarding school. We'd have a film every Saturday night, and one time the teacher picked that one, and then you realise there is nothing in this movie. Like, it's just about that one incident, then they get rich, and then I think they both go broke or something like that. Like, you can't have a whole movie around one incident. Like, there's got to be like a roll on.
That is, so apparently, I've just opened the chat now, as I'm permitted to do. And Rush is the film with Niki Lauda, covering the Niki Lauda story. Incredible story. If you want the abridged version, do listen to the Niki Lauda episode of the Wheel of Sport podcast, available at all your favorite bookshops. Quite a few good guesses. 77, 78, 80, 88, 86. Maybe the COD Wars. I reckon so many people, the COD Wars really resonated with so many people when we discussed
the COD Wars are huge.
But because they took place over such a period of time, that could really throw you out. I mean, I suppose you got to be fishing for clues. Well, goodness, that was a lot of fun. Thanks, Josh. You did play the blinder.
Yeah. God, as I said before, never outsource. Have your, keep an eye on your workers. Make sure that they're doing a good job.
Yes. Yeah.
No, thanks, Josh. It was entertaining. It actually made it more entertaining that your absolutely laughable, ridiculous questions. I thought he was a fan, Ian. Turns out we got a real fly-by-nighter,
Hey, look, there's a big difference, isn't there, between, laughing along in the audience and being up on stage as yourself, Kappa. There's plenty of people in the audience who think, I could do that.
You just came on here to get chicks,
Just like you make it look so easy.
I'm with you, Kappa. I'm doing the work for him. That's what he wants to tell all the girls at the bars once they're over Zoom. Well, he's told us to get stuffed. That's like an old school. Anyway, all right. So,
and like Stuart Dees as well has just said, why have I not connected Niki Lauda's death with the year of my birth? And I presume that's because you don't remember very much from the year you're born. I can't believe that, Dad. Niki Lauda's dead. What's that, son? 9 months old.
Husband rushes into the. Did you hear about Niki Lauda? No, I had a baby.
Well, Craig P is jumping into defense for Josh here, saying they were solid clues. I thought that they weren't bad clues. It's just, it's like when you see an open mic act, Kappa, when you're just like, look, some of the concepts and ideas are there in your set, but you just don't know quite how to execute them. You don't know you haven't got the skills yet to, fully deliver.
It was kind of like if you ask Google to give you clues on 1976.
Yeah, or ask Google, should I have a vaccine? Don't do it. Ask your doctor. Or just get it. Don't even ask. Josh said that you're his second worst housemate.
Apparently they can't hear you, Ian. I don't know. Apparently
can't hear me.
Clint says, speak up, Ian. Can't hear. Or is that a joke? Anyway.
Louder.
Anyway. Is he Niki Lauda? What a sweet burn. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, that's bad. Okay, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Have a Beer Guest a Year. for some reason, I just contracted a really bad hay fever, and I don't know why.
Yes.
I had a runny nose the whole time. Eyes were all red. But thank you guys so much. Cannot wait to see you outside of the
Absolutely. We can't wait to see you all in real life. But in the meantime, we'll be back. We've scheduled, if you've tolerated this much, why not come back this time next week? 8:30. Have a beer guest of the year.
Ian, you should get one.
Well, if Stuart D can remember Nicky Loudon's accident from before his first birthday, then expectations are being set. We will see you next time for another ripping episode, and thankfully for all of us, I'm back on the clues next week. Oh yes, back on the clues. This amount of work is going to go into it, so rest assured, everybody, we'll see you next week. Have a beer guest of the year. See you, Kappa.
See you, mate. Bye.